Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Simon and today I am back with my March book haul, which is absolutely ridiculous considering I did a separate video on my birthday book haul, which were books that I got for my birthday in March. I don't know how it's happened. I've bought a shed load of books for myself, so maybe that's a happy birthday me, and then been sent a lot of books. I'm going to start off as always with books from publishers, and I'm going to start with books that have come in finished form or have come in paperback that I've talked about previously, just so that you know about them. That's the aim of this bit of the game. So starting off with a book that I absolutely adored, Ghosted by Jen Ashworth. This is out in paperback this month as this goes live, because we're talking about books I got in March, but this is now April and this comes out in April. And yeah, this is Ghosted, a love story, which I think is a really interesting title, as it's about a woman whose husband goes missing and she doesn't tell the police, but why? And we find out as we read on. And if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend you do. And if you haven't read Jen Ashworth yet, I highly recommend you do. So there we go. Then I was going to be doing an event with this author tomorrow as this goes live. And I'm gutted. No, not tomorrow as this goes live. Thursday as this goes live. I'm losing my days, and I'm gutted that we're not, but it just couldn't work out for various reasons. But hopefully we'll do something together at some point, because I loved this book when I read it in hardback. It's a memoir. It made me laugh. It's told through vignettes. It's really poignant and beautiful and moving. It is My Mess is a Bit of a Life by Georgia Pritchett, who also writes for Succession, but used to write for Miranda, wrote on Spice World the movie, and it's just a brilliant look at her relationship with anxiety, but also her life story told through these very funny, very self-deprecating vignettes, and the things she goes through are quite fantastic and fascinating, and also very moving in a lot of ways. I couldn't think of a word for moving that began with F, but there we go. So yeah, if you haven't read that yet, please do. I wanged on about it enough. I haven't read this yet, but I have a proof. It's Time is a Mother by Vong. This is their new collection of poetry. Really looking forward to that. We'll be reading it soon. I will also soon be reading, now that I have a second copy, I might even take the proof with me on holiday, because I'm very excited about this book. There Are More Things by Yara Rodriguez Fowler, and I loved her debut novel, Stubborn Archivist. I thought it was brilliant, and looked at Brazilian culture and English culture. That almost sounds like something very rude. English culture, and yeah, how they come together, how they clash, all those things which I really love. And this does the same, I believe, and is told in slightly vignette style, which I just really like. And I have a thing about Brazil. My first husband was from Brazil, and I really love the people in the country and everything. So yeah, really keen to get to that. As I'm shocked I haven't read this yet, actually. And I don't know what is slightly holding me back, but something is a tiny bit. It's Young Mungo by Douglas Stewart, and this is not the follow-up in the sense of it's a sequel to, but the follow-up is in it's the next book after Shuggie Bain, which won the Booker. I had the pleasure of chatting to Douglas about Shuggie Bain a few times, and me and Melanie did it for book club. I'm not sure when book club is back, just to wedge that in while I can. We keep trying to film, but we've both got a lot going on and don't keep managing, but it will return. Frank Book Club will return. Anyway, yeah, really excited to get to this, but I think also a little bit nervous because I loved Shuggie Bain so much. I read it twice and loved it even more the second time, that I don't know, something's got me on hold about that a little bit. And last but not least are the books that I've talked about on the channel before, but this is the finished copy of Memphis by Tara M. Stringfellow. This is about a group of friends in Memphis, and I'm really excited for this one. There's quite a lot of books about friendship, particularly female friendship, that have come out this year, and I feel like there could be a theme vlog in it, although I also feel like would that be too much of a thing. But I read Wahala earlier in the year and really enjoyed that. Oh my goodness, I've just seen the end papers. How beautiful are those? But yeah, very excited for this one. Why is it going dark now when I've got lots of books to talk about? Right, on to books from publishers that I haven't mentioned on this channel before. And first is probably the one that I'm most excited for, and I'm hopefully going to be giving this a quote. I've been asked if I would, and so I say hopefully. I'm gonna be. It is The Night Ship by Jess Kidd. I adore Jess Kidd's writing. I think she is a phenomenal writer. This is out in August. I don't know very much about it, other than I can see on the back it's set in 1629 and 1989. It's obviously got a ship involved. With it being Jess Kidd, I'm assuming it's going to be supernatural in some way, but also really poignant and moving and darkly funny. They're all the things that I'm expecting from her writing. I love her writing. Very excited for this. We'll be reading that very soon. I feel like that may go on holiday with me in a week and a half, because I know Mum would probably really, really like to read that, and I'm going on holiday with her. And my stepdad, and also Chris. And my stepdad is doing very well. Thank you for all your thoughts, and those of you who saw my vlog recently. If you've not seen my vlog, you need to go and see it and find out what happened. So there we are. What a tease. Then I have proof of a book that I'm really, really excited about. It's The Movement by Aisha Malek. You can't tell from the cover because all it says is I've decided to shut the up. And I don't want to know too much about this. I absolutely loved This Green and Pleasant Land, which Lena over at Lena Norm's had kind of put me onto. It was one of her favourite books a few years ago, and then I read it on her say so and just thought it was fantastic and could not wait for more. Aisha has got previous novels that I could go to, and actually she's one of the quick reads authors, which I'll be talking about in a video soon. Anyway, but yeah, this is her new forthcoming novel in July. I want to read it. I'm very excited for it. I will get to it soon. Just need to get a bit of prize reading out of the way. Then a non-fiction book that I'm super duper excited for is Travis Alabanza's None of the Above, Reflections on Life Beyond the Binary. And yeah, I'm really, really keen to get to this one very soon. I've just realised this really goes with the room. This video could be sponsored by Dusky Pink Not Anonymous, frankly, couldn't it? Because it's all about the Dusky Pink that's going on here. I'm enjoying it. Then I have a book that I'll definitely be reading because my Patreons voted for it for a prompt of a bonkers read, and that is A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. And it says, meet Dorothy Daniels, she's an acquired taste. And then it says, they called me the MILF killer, the butcher food critic, the bloody nympho, none got it right. And this is about Dorothy, and we sort of slowly are drawn into her life, I think up to a point where she kills someone and then obviously beyond. And I actually have the American edition of this on its way because I think it's amazing. This I think is going to be the finished UK edition, but the American edition has got something extra about it. So, but this will be probably going on holiday with me, although I am thinking of doing a themed reading vlog about bonkers books. The lovely folk at Fitzcarraldo Editions sent me Emergency by Daisy Hilliard. They thought I would like it, and I think I'm going to like it a lot. This is all about a young woman who is growing up in the 1990s. She's stuck at home, and she takes a real interest in nature in Yorkshire in the north of England, and then it goes into the future and becomes, well, it says on the back, Emergency reinvents the pastoral novel for the climate change era. And so it looks at the marvels of nature, but then starts to look at pesticides and how we're affecting the earth and what's happening to it. And I think this is going to be phenomenal. Nature and climate change, I mean, most times they're sort of together, but anyway, moving on. And then the lovely folk at River Run, part of Quirker, sent me The Smash Up by Ali Benjamin. Apparently this is a retelling of the Ethan Frome by Edith Wharton, which I read in January and absolutely loved. And yeah, this is supposed to be like a retelling of it in the modern day. So intrigued, very intrigued, as I am for Nettleback, which Cypher Press have kindly sent me. And they do quite a lot of queer fiction and poetry, and this looks like it's going to be a big sensation novel kind of from the 1800s, well 1893, which is an era I love fiction to be set in and fiction from actually, and yet it has kind of so it's kind of a Victorian sensation novel with a queer sensibility and twist, I believe, and that does it for me. I will probably not straight away because this video is probably going to try and go up within an hour of me filming it, but at some point I will add all of these books in the description, but for now, maybe pause this and get a pen and paper because I don't know how soon that'll be. I should have said that earlier. This cover is amazing and I'm so excited for this. And this is an author who I have, I think, all of the books of that they've published and not read a single one, but yet I'm pretty sure they're going to be one of my favourite authors ever, so I need to get a wriggle on. It's Jill Dawson and this is The Bewitching. How stunning is that? I think it's about witches. I haven't looked into it any more than that because all I did when I opened it was just go, oh, that's amazing. But it says Alice Samuel might be old and sharp-tongued, but she's no fool. Visiting her new neighbours in her Fenland village, she suspects Squire Throckmorton's household is not as God-fearing as it seems and finds the children troubled. Yet when one of the daughters accuses her of witchcraft, Alice has no inkling of how quickly matters will escalate and fails to grasp the danger she's in. Yes, so it is about witches, possibly-ish, but that is just, I could do that all day, but that would make for a boring video. And then this arrived, and I don't think I've asked for any of these so far, so they've all come unsolicited. I did say yes to the smash up when I was offered it, but I need to do that for clarity. Anyway, this came unsolicited and really intrigued me. It's called Dogs of Summer by Andrea Abreu, and this is about two young girls who are friends with possibly something a little bit more, and one of them is called Shit, and Shit is really upset because it's turned to June and her best friend Isadora is kind of, I think, moving away, but it's how Shit loves Isadora but also is quite jealous of her in a lot of ways, and I think this is just going to be a really short, sharp something of a book. So yeah, it's out from Weidenfeld and Nicholson. Sometimes it's June, that's when it's out, June, so there we go. Then I was actually seeing Jaylan reading this from, I always get his, it's Bar in the Bookcase, or is it Bookcase in the Bar? I always get it the wrong way around. I'm sorry, Joan, I'm sorry, but I'll link him down below. And I saw he was reading this, I was like, oh, I really want that one, and realised that I had it in my TBR, no, my haul shelf, on my haul shelf. So I was like, oh, I didn't need to be so wickedly jealous. This is, you'll have probably seen because I've been holding it up for a while when I've been waffling and wanging on, An Exciting and Vivid Inner Life by Paul Dalla Rosa. And Jaylan described this as a Tessa Moshfegh written by a queer man, I think was sort of along the lines. And I'm intrigued. It's short stories, and that was what I needed to know. So ready for it. I think it's by a queer man. I might be wrong. It might just be by a man. Anyway, there we go. What we're talking about. Then, oh, I'm very excited for this, and I do have a bound proof, so this could also go on holiday with me. I don't know if I'm going to do a holiday TBR video because I feel like when I did it for the last holiday, it jinxed it, but I'm telling you kind of what I'm thinking about taking with me on the next one. I'm not going for like a week and a half, so I don't know why I'm thinking about it so much already, but when you're going on holiday, stop going on about going on holiday, Simon, but when you are, there is that thing, isn't there, where you just get excited about all the possible different selections you could take. Anyway, this is Companion Piece by Ali Smith. Really keen to read it. Not part of the quartet, but sort of follows on from her seasonal quartet, I think, hence Companion Piece. And it's purple, and purple is my favourite colour. And so I'm very, very, very excited for this one. Then we have Woman Eating by Claire Coda. I did ask for this one from the publisher. It sounded so good. I was like, I need to read this. It's about a woman who is a vampire in like contemporary Britain now, and yeah, it just sounded really, really good and a bit different for a vampire novel. So yeah, and I did go and see Morbius the other day. Loads of people are absolutely slating it. I really, really enjoyed it. Jared Leto with hardly any clothes on and superpowers and bats. What more do you need in life? Then, I can't remember if I've talked about getting this book or not. I've had it twice, which is why it's really confused me. But I'm so excited for it. It is Sarah Schmitz Blue Hour. I absolutely loved See What I Have Done. I love Sarah herself. I'm very excited for this. I believe there is a character called Simon in it who may or may not be based on me. So yeah, so I'm super intrigued. And now that I've got 2 copies of it, I can possibly take it on, you guessed it, holiday. I'm probably boring everyone with that now, so I won't mention it again. I asked for this as well. This is Wet Paint by Chloe Ashby. This is coming out this month. And I heard Chloe read from this when I did the Orion showcase earlier in the year, and I was just like bewitched by her reading and so interested. That said, I can't exactly remember what it was about, but I just know that as soon as I heard her talk about it, I was like, I have to read that book. And so I will read this book. I'm sorry if that wasn't more helpful to you. It could have been, maybe. I'm very excited for this one, although I need to read her first novel first. This is Tell Me Everything by Laura Kay, who wrote The Split, which people raved about. Queer sapphic contemporary fiction. I don't know what this one is about. It says indecisive, chaotic, emotionally unavailable, and that's just the therapist. So, it's about therapy. And yeah, really, really looking forward to that one. And last but not least, certainly not least, this cover is insanely good. Is from Coda. It's out in July, and I'm so excited for this. It's Joan by Catherine J. Chen, and this is a rewriting of the life of Joan of Arc. And I love that kind of thing. So I love sort of, yeah, I don't know enough about Joan of Arc, and I feel like I should. There's a Little Mix song and a Madonna song about Joan of Arc that I enjoy. So that's as far as it goes. Did I see that film with Mila, what's the face in it? I don't know if I did. But Joan of Arc's weirdly one of those people from history who you just know somehow by like osmosis. And I think this will be absolutely fascinating. And just how good is that cover? I mean, it's redonkulous. So we have that. Now, on to some gifts before I start talking about the books that I bought myself. Firstly, my friend Michelle got me this for my birthday, and it's just the most lovely thing. It's The Savage Garden, poems collected for me. And I just think that's really, really, really lovely. A really, really touching, beautiful 40th birthday present. There's one poem here that's only 2 lines. I'm tired of love, I'm still more tired of rhyme, but money gives me pleasure all the time. What are you trying to say about me, Michelle? What are you trying to say? But yeah, I'm really, really intrigued by this. And I've seen a few people who've done these Page Smith personalised poetry collections. And it's something that I think I would like to do for a few people, like my mother, for example. So, yeah. Oh, and she's put, Dear Simon, for the man of many books, serious bibliophile, here's a little poetry anthology just for your library in celebration of your 40th year of fabulousness. I hope you enjoy it. Love, Michelle. How lovely is that? And weirdly, I said I wasn't going to mention it again. I don't see Michelle as much as I would like, but she's one of my dearest friends, and we worked together for a long time and known each other for a long time. We're actually going to be seeing each other in Italy, of all places, because we're both there in one particular city at the same time, which is just bonkers. So yeah, that'll be in a vlog forthcoming, and you can see the wonderful Michelle who got me this. Then I did do a video of birthday books that were sent by lots of you lovely lot from a wish list that I'm leaving up. It's linked down below until the 24th of April. However, some have arrived since, and one I actually forgot. And the one that I forgot was from Kate Saunders, because it wasn't a book, it was set elsewhere. But this is 100 V&A postcards. I love using these as bookmarks, but also when I send books to people and stuff, I like to slip one of these in, as it were. And yeah, so I'm really, really thrilled about that. Thank you very much, Kate. Then from the lovely Anna M. Bolland, who I adore on Instagram, we have The Art of Cruelty, A Reckoning by Maggie Nelson. I love Maggie Nelson's writing. I want to read everything that she's written at some point in my 40s. There we go, I've said it. And yeah, looking forward to getting to this one. So thank you very much, Anna. And then the lovely Emma Sims sent me 2 books. Poppy Show, the American version of This One Sky Day by Leonie Ross, which I absolutely loved. I really loved the UK hardback, and with the spreads and everything, beautiful. This I think is even better, and I was considering getting the hardback version, which I know Ewan of Hardback Hypebeast has got. But when well, I don't need to now because the lovely Emma has sent me Poppy Show in paperback. So that's delightful. I actually kind of really want to reread that book. I loved it that much. Emma also very kindly sent me A Touch of Jen by Beth Morgan, which is meant to be really bonkers and quirky. It has a quote on the cover from Carmen Maria Machado. Again, we're going with the rinky-dink pink. Yeah, I've just heard it's brilliant. Really, really weird, quite bonkers, very funny. And yeah, I'll report back when I get to it. I really, really love that cover. Really, really love it. And then onto books that I bought myself because why not? First up, in fact, hang on 1 second because 2 are elsewhere. I've been filming something about prizes, hence why these shelves are empty too, because that's where my women's prize books were, for Sky Arts Book Club Extra, which I present, which is always linked down below. It's not, it's linked down below, you absolute one. But yeah, if you want to get extra video from me every week, go there because I present it and I really, really enjoy it. And I'm very excited about Sky Arts Book Club Season 3, which I'll be able to tell you about more soon. Anyway, I was in Foyles. I went to London. Well, I didn't go to London. I went through London the other week for work and ended up in Waterloo, where there is a brilliant Foyles, and bought quite a lot of books from the Booker International long list. So I'll go through this quickly. Cursed Bunny, which is by Bora Chung and translated by Anton Hurt, which is quirky, I think quite queer horror stories-ish, I think is the gist of it. Are they queer? I'm not sure. Anyway, but there we have that one. Then we have Tomb of Sand by Geetanjali Shri, which is about an 80-year-old woman whose husband dies. She gets lost in this sort of delirium of grief, but when she comes out of it, she starts doing quite unusual things. I feel like this is going to be perfect for a weekend to just curl up with. I've heard it's really moving, but also very funny, and it has made me think that I might been off the idea to read Tilted Access Press in order and just read 1 or 2 a month until I've caught up with them all, because I do love what they're doing. I also got, actually speaking of Tilted Access Press, Happy Stories Mostly by Norman Erickson Pasaribu, which is translated by Tiffany Tsao. I didn't say that this one was translated by Daisy Rockwell, and I should. I do wish they would say where from sometimes, because sometimes you'll open the page and it won't say at all, like it'll just say translated by, but there's no like translated from what, which I would just like to know because I'm nosy. But these are definitely queer short stories. Then we have more queer short stories with Jonas Ika's After the Sun, which again I've heard amazing things about, and so I'm very keen to get to. And then I got Paradise by Fernanda Melchor, and I could have asked for this technically from the publisher, but I saw it there and I was like, I just need to get it. But now that they've started sending me books, maybe I'll ask for a couple more and be a cheeky what's it. So yeah, but I really actually want the American edition of this. I have the Australian edition of Hurricane Season, which I still haven't read, but I've heard is amazing. And yeah, I would like to get that because I love what Fitzcarraldo do with these covers. But it was you and actually at Hardback Hype Beast who said, I don't want my shelves to just be full of like only 2 colours of books. I want a bit more variety. So yeah, anyway, I agree. But speaking of that, I did buy myself Cold Enough for Snow, which I may have. I feel like I bought this in February when it was going to be Fitzuary, and then didn't get around to reading. So maybe I missed it in the last haul, or maybe I didn't, and I'm showing you twice, but never mind. It's by Jessica Au, and I feel like she is Australian. Anyway, yeah, so I would like to get to that at some point, some short books. I bought this because of CJ Reads. It's The Deloriad by Missouri Williams, which is set in a dystopic, again, we're going with those pink tones. It's set in a dystopic time period, I think, after possibly like a huge environmental crisis, maybe pandemic, I'm not sure. But the way the family have survived is through incest, and I think it's quite dark and twisty and was a possible bonkers book selection, but my patrons, as I said, picked the other one by Chelsea G. Summers. So yeah, but I would like to read this very, very soon, because people are going on about it. It's from a small independent press here called Dead Ink Books and should be supported. I bought this book in Wales when I was there, and it is Fanny, which is such a child, but it really, every time, Fanny by Rebecca F. John. Grow Up, Simon. It's a historical book set in 1815. Rebecca F. John wrote a book that I really loved. The title has completely gone out of my head. The Haunting of Henry Twist, which was one of the books in when I judged the Costa debut 4 or 5 years ago. That was one of my absolute favourites. I wanted it to win. But yeah, so that's more. I've got another one of Rebecca F. John's books as well on my shelves. I want to say it's called like The Trench Coat or something. But yeah, really, really intrigued with this. And again, short and sharp, want to get to it. And it seemed right to buy a Welsh author while I was in Wales. Ruth Ozeki, Time for a Face Code. No, that's not right. Time Code of a Face, Time for a Face Code. Good Lord. It's late in the day, everyone. This is her thoughts on your faces, and it starts off with what did your face look like before your parents were born? Who are you? What is your true self? These are the questions in Ruth Ozeki's mind as she challenged herself to spend 3 hours gazing into her own reflection, recording every thought and every detail. And I really like Ruth Ozeki's writing. She is on the long list for the Women's Prize for a book that I read last year and really, really enjoyed. And so yeah, I thought this would be a good short non-fiction. I am not doing very well with non-fiction this year, so I need to read more, so that will help. This is all the fault of Hannah May, because she raved about it and I was like, oh, I really, really need to get to it. It's The Swimmers by Julie Opsuka, and yeah, I feel like I need to read this by a swimming pool though, even though I think it might be a bit sad about swimming, possibly, but I've heard it's a real short, sharp banger, frankly. That's not what Hannah called it, but that's what I got from her talking about it, so there we go. I have this fabulous poetry collection, Bless the Daughter Raised by a Voice in Her Head by Wells and Shire. Everyone was raving about this, and I just think it's also one of the most beautiful books to behold. Oh, stop it. No, don't. You mustn't. Gorgeous. So would like to get to that soon. Some non-fiction from Australia that I ordered. I loved the cover, but also I loved sort of, I think this might be a book that me and Chris sort of read, not together obviously, because you can't read the same book at the same time. That would be madness. Like, how would you do it? But I want to try and get Chris reading more. And this is Eating with My Mouth Open by Sam van Zweden. And it's apparently sort of food writing like you've never seen before. And it looks at it in a really, really different way. And I don't even want to try and sell it without reading the blurb. And I know people don't like people reading the blurbs, but I think that kind of is enough. So, or that suffices in the fact it's food writing like you've never read before. And Chris trained as a chef, and so books around food and stuff are a really good way into him reading more. So although that said, when we were away, I nearly said the H word, Chris read like 4 books and I only read 2. So yeah. The Jalak long list came out, and I had a few books, I didn't have a few books on from the list. So Like a Tree Walking by Vahini Capildio is some poetry. I need to do a huge amount of poetry reading. Maybe I should try and 1 week like read a poetry collection a day or something. Then I have been having a real problem with starting and stopping, and sort of magpie vision is like, oh, that looks nice, I want to read that now of late, which I'm working on this week because I'm recording a reading vlog where I'm just reading long listed books from the Women's Prize that I haven't got to yet, and trying to focus my reading a little bit more because it was all over the place. But last week I bought this book on the last day of the month, which was Vagabonds by Elagosha Asundi, and started it and thought it was amazing. It's about a spirit of a whole Nigerian city. Although at the same time I want to say it's about the spirit of Nigeria, but I don't think that's quite true. And we find out more about this spirit through its sidekick, who is also dragging people into this spirit land. And yeah, it was just phenomenal. So I want to get back to that. I'm also really keen, once I've read Rachel's Holiday. Oh no, I mentioned the H word, but not in me going on one. But I would really like to get to, again, Rachel. I finally read a Marianne Keyes last year, funny enough, for Sky Arts Book Club, which was Grown Ups, and thought it was absolutely bloody brilliant. And or was it that? Or was it, did me and Melanie pick it and then Marianne was on Sky Arts Book Club? Anyway, either way, I read Marianne Keyes for the first time, absolutely loved it, and want to read more, but I don't feel like I can read this until I've read Rachel's Holiday, so need to read Rachel's, word that I'm not saying anymore. Then another book from the Dulac Prize is Cynthia Miller's Honorifics, either or, poetry collection. That cover is Gaulois. And penultimately, a book that I had imported from America because it is coming out in the UK, but I don't like the cover as much, although I'm hearing such mixed things. It's untrue. Well, it's not untrue, it's fact, because I'm hearing them. But it's Vladimir by Julia May Jones. And yeah, I think this is about a female lecturer who starts having some sort of illicit relationship with one of her students, I think. But yeah, I'm hearing very, very mixed things, as I said. And then last but not least, a graphic novel from the Dulac Prize long list this year, The Roles We Play by Sabha Khan. And this looks really, really interesting. I'm looking forward to getting to it in due course. So there we go. So that's that. That's this here March book haul in April. I need to be better on timings, don't I? Also, I wanged on for quite a long time, so I'm going to shut up. But let me know if you've read any of these below, if you like them. If you didn't like them, don't tell me now. Tell me when I've read them, because then I'm more than happy to have an absolute chat with you about it all. Tell me what book you got in March that you're most excited about, or what books, plural. And I'll be back on Thursday with another video. I'm not saying what is yet because I'm trying really hard not to overpromise. But there we go, from this dusky pink destination to wherever you are in the world, sending you lots of love. I hope you're doing as well as can be, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye.